My health is starting to fail. I don't have the money to deal with my health problems. I am a continual failure on losing weight. And my YouTube channel went from 8 million views a month to 200,000 views a month. I live off the charity of others. I haven't seen probably 8 years. I'm bigger now than I've ever been. I have trouble sleeping. I don't take care of myself the way I should. Sugar controls my life 110%. I probably have untreated diabetes, and I basically have to play games.
Taking you out the sky. I really need to make this money. I really wanted to get this surgery, man. I wanted it so bad. I just can't do it. I can't take this no more, man.
Wings of Redemption, also known as Jordie Jordan. He is a streamer on various websites such as Twitch and YouTube. He is also among a crowd of locals, people whom are known online to be eccentric, or show foolish behavior that is exploited to entertain others. Darkside Phil, or DSP, is also an example of the similar behavior Wings has shown, but he is for a completely different video. He is also known as a career launcher channel, simply from others exposing him and gaining mass popularity and clout. I know, I perhaps am one of these individuals who is all about exposing people, but believe me folks, YouTube is simply no career for me, at least not yet anyways. I just do this out of entertainment and education. And with that being said, Wings is known to be clipped, trolled, humiliated, and attacked on a daily basis by a lot of individuals. And if you search the name Wings of Redemption on YouTube, you will come across a lot of troll channels, with videos, clip videos, crime videos, exposed videos, you name it. This man is everywhere to be found, all across the internet, and the infamy seems to be growing worse and worse. And on top of it, these said videos continue to grow in popularity, which further expands Wings' shall I say, infamy. There are also various troll channels that are growing, and that are exploding with support. Some of these channels, or even people shall I say, were individuals that used to be friends with Wings, but they betrayed him, and moved on to either harassing him, never associating with him, or even simply just revealing personal life information onto him, to others out of pure hate. Happy Halloween, everyone. Why do all of these things occur, you may ask? Why is it that Wings, someone who seemingly is a regular streamer, is this massive target for online communities? Even at one point he was popular, and a fast-growing channel at that, but now he has become a tragic, pitiful, and depressed-driven individual. Was it because of the questionable actions he has demonstrated, the words that he has misused, or maybe purposefully? Did the trolls seemingly get to his head, making his life harder to live? Or is it because of the large amount of weight he has tacked onto his body, which seems to be at a very unhealthy level, and he has even addressed this on numerous occasions. Many people seem to gravitate towards this person, and to me personally, I find him pretty entertaining at times. Perhaps that is the reason in itself as to why he's got such a large group who keeps their eyes on him, myself included. Today, we will be covering the story of Jordie Jordan, a man whose infamous following may eventually lead him down a darker path than he already is in, and from my understanding, has had a rough life. I will be referencing information from the Wings of Redemption Down the Rabbit Hole video, which in itself is fantastic to watch and I highly recommend it, as well as other recent sources that I found helpful to put this all together. Wings, for the longest time, has been known as a circus to poke fun at and make laughs from. But what are these reasons? Why does he get trolled so often? Why do a lot of individuals seek to harass him? Stay tuned, and I can attempt to provide these reasons as to why this has been occurring for years and years. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, and I hope you enjoy this video. In the beginning, Jordie Jordan was born on April 21st, 1986. and was born from the result of a teenage pregnancy. Since this was the case, Jordie would be raised by his grandparents in their trailer park home. When he was 2 years old, Jordie's father, who was an alcoholic, would abandon his family altogether, which in a way shows Jordie's tragic and sad means into this world. Jordie, when he was younger, would enter school, and he would do fantastic in sports, and claim to be one of the best, or shall I say athletic, in his class. That is, until a more athletic foreign exchange student joined during his year, and would place Jordie in second place for most of his school sporting events. To fix this, according to Jordie, he would start eating more during his dinners, assuming it would help him grow larger, giving him a physical advantage over his challengers. But unfortunately, this would lead to Jordie gaining very unhealthy levels of weight, which also led to an underperformance in his sporting results, and would eventually sink deep into the large world and fantasy of video games. During this process, his family, as well as his brother and single mother, would eventually move from his grandparents' trailer park home into a small income government house. And while living in this new home, Jordie would continue gaining weight, while stepping further and further away from the outside world. When he was 14 years old, he had reached an astonishing 240 pounds, and was diagnosed with bipolar and social anxiety disorder, which would make his isolation from society even worse. In an attempt to fix this, Jordie would try and take on minimum wage jobs so that he can get out of his house more often, and even interact with people, as well as earning somewhat of an income for himself. In his late teenage years, he would have positions, such as working with a video rental store. He also worked in a supermarket as a 911 operator, and would even do pizza deliveries for Domino's. Unfortunately, he would find a lot of these jobs to be boring and not something to his liking, which would lead him to quit all these jobs within 2 weeks of starting them. But when he turned 18, Jordie would land himself in a position where he was able to hold on to a job for a decent amount of time, which was named Met Class, and claimed to be an overhead crane operator for blast furnaces. While he was working for Met Class in 2007, Jordie and another friend of his named Z7 Taylor would play COD or Call of Duty during the evenings, and would watch sniper montages on YouTube. Jordie would think about making his own videos, but given he had a busy work schedule, he could not follow through with his thoughts since he had very little time for it. However, in 2008, there was an event that would present itself as a problem in the beginning, but would eventually turn out to be a large turning point in Jordie's life, which was called the Global Financial Crisis. Jordie would explain that since he was one of the more costly employees at MedClass, he was one of the first people to lose his position, as business profits for MedClass began to go downhill. He then would be placed on unemployment income, and with his previous employment history, would seem to take a toll on Jordie's confidence, relating to his ability to hold down any job working for someone else. But during the time while this occurred, Jordie would actually have one advantage out of this scenario. He has had all of the time in the world to do things he wanted to. His friend, Z7 Taylor, would start making his own COD videos, and would notice the success of them, which made Jordie order an HD PVR capture card, and would begin to record his own videos in his free time. During the 2000s, or shall I say late 2000s, YouTube was recently becoming available and new to people to access. Lots of trends involving games were also gaining popularity, one of which was Call of Duty commentary. Some of these said videos would be used for matches that would show themselves getting kill streaks, or cleaning out matches, with attempts at getting a higher kill over death ratio. However, sometimes these commentary videos would serve as a background, or a social tool, to discuss other various topics, whether it's stuff like drama, religion, mental illnesses, or even life discussions, or just simply tomfoolery to entertain others. Lots of creators seem to partake in this similar genre of content, but that also falls into the streaming category. People like Dr. Disrespect, bless his heart, Sea-Nanners, Tabes, Drifter, FaceClan, and more have utilized this trend to gain followers as well as more popularity. However, there was one man who happened to stick out more than others. The one that many knows as Jordie Jordan himself. His username, or shall I say channel name, goes by Wingsofredemption, or you could just say Wings. It began where he involved himself in this style of content. His first upload was that of a test of himself playing Call of Duty World at War, but at this time he was lacking a mic. However, a couple of weeks later, he released his first commentary video on October 24th, 2009.
Yo! It's your boy, Wings of Redemption.
He did not speak very much during this first video, and would even apologize during it, as well as in his description for his subject matter. But he would become progressively more comfortable in making new videos, and eventually would pour out a lot of similar content involving commentary videos, as well as shorter videos, showing off feats or achievements he obtained during his playthroughs. His opinions were very bold at this time, but he was also maintaining a friendly and relatable personality, as well as wanting to maintain quality for his videos. He would even go as far as to do commentary videos with a voice recording all in one take, and would redo them if they were not to his satisfaction, or if they had errors. He even had his own intro, with the name Intense Camping Productions, which is a nod to the camping strategy known in a lot of FPSs and shooters. At this time, he had commentators he would frequently engage with, and he stated that they were giving him positivity, as well as being thankful for the support. Jordie at this time was growing at a phenomenal rate, receiving thousands of views on his videos within his first month, which was a great feat on his part, given the time and how new his channel was. His subscriber count was even growing at an alarming rate. However, this was a double-edged sword. His in-game username was visible in his videos, and people would message him onto his console, asking for game advice, as well as wanting to be his friend, as well as joining his games mid-session, and their skill levels were widely different, which potentially influences his ratio of wins to losses, which Jordie felt as important. But it was proven that the comments in Jordie's videos are more emotional and mentally draining for him. The COD community is known to be very toxic, and also mentions or downgrades certain playstyles as illegitimate, and one of these is the mentioned camping strategy, which involves a player sitting or staying in one location, waiting for opponents to approach, so that kills are easier to obtain. This playstyle was Jordie's favorite tactic, as well as being unashamed of using it in matches. However, he was self-conscious of it and felt the need to defend himself over the usage of it in his first commentary video.
If I'm playing in a game, I don't want y'all to come in and try to join the game, because what happens is you actually use my tips against me. I mean, I don't want to have to try hard every game I play. Oh, and don't ask me what my penis size is and stuff. Serious questions. I mean, I'll seriously thumb down anybody who just messes around and wants to know, you know, do I put my finger up my dog or something like that. Come on, guys, be serious.
This unfortunately did not do much to dismiss criticism. Viewers can agree that Jordie on a routine displayed high-level gameplay, but his usage of the camping strategy has lit fires in the comment section. This has tested Jordie's patience, and eventually he would respond to these toxic comments. On November 23rd, less than a month after his first commentary video, he made a video titled Point of Address, which shows him discussing a lot of issues he would start facing. In that same day, he made another video revealing a bit more about himself and his living situation, asking for donations for an Xbox 360 console. That way, he could play with viewers.
First and foremost, a lot of people have asked me, am I going to ever invest in an Xbox? I wouldn't mind getting an Xbox, but I'm currently unemployed at the time. I got laid off from my job October 14th, and I'm currently on unemployment. So that means I cannot splurge whatsoever, because I went from making $1,000 a week to $350. But there is another alternative. If 500 of you donate $1, I would be able to get an Xbox 360, Modern Warfare 2, a year's worth of Xbox Live, and the cables for the HD PVR. And I could play with the Xbox people. Let me stress this, you do not have to give me money.
However, he would start feeling the need for his videos to do very well, and he noted what he sees is that he was receiving much less support than usual in relation to his analytics.
Now, and they're still only getting 200 ratings. I spent a lot of time in these videos, and if you could just click any of the stars, I don't care if you want a 1 star, put a lot of time into them. Could you please just help me out, and when you watch the videos, put a just put a rating on it, because I put a lot of videos out. I'm not like other commentators that put one video out a week, or they have time to go back and do the animations and all this thing. I forget to do a lot of that mess because I just put videos out in bulk. I usually put.
Within these first couple of months, Jordie was gaining a reputation for speaking about whatever came to his mind. But this ignorance has pulled Jordie into a lot of controversy very quickly. In a now deleted video, Jordie publicly denounced the people who practiced the technique of quickscoping, stating it was too unrealistic to work in real games, which a lot of the COD community knows is simply not true. And in particular, he even attacked another COD commentator named Hutch, who at the time had a much larger viewer base than him. These comments drew attention from Hutch's community, and rather allowing the drama to continue, they both decided to try and hold a friendly debate, rather than a toxic one, which involved them discussing and criticizing each other's playstyles, as well as recording their games. The recording was eventually released on YouTube as a commentary video on December 13th, 2009, which was hosted on Hutch's channel. Jordie was introducing himself on the video, as well as revealing some details about himself on his life.
Yo, it's your boy, Wings of Redemption.
Wow. That's quite an intro, buddy. Why don't you take it down a notch? Just, take it down maybe another 14 decibels.
Oh, the Ebonics thing is something that my channel came accustomed to. I stopped it at one point, and people requested me to bring it back. It's not how I actually
Where are you
talk.
from that you're speaking Ebonics?
I'm from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I actually grew up in the Holt Garden Project.
You ought to get slapped in the nuts for speaking Ebonics if you're from North Carolina.
South Carolina.
South Carolina. Oh, are you white?
Yeah, I'm white.
Oh.
White as it comes. But I did grow up in a black predominant neighborhood, and when I grew up, the kids I hung out with spoke Ebonics.
Oh, I guess that
something I
qualifies
picked up.
you to speak Ebonics, then, yeah.
Yeah, I grew up poor.
Right on. So you posted.
The video, or at least most of it, remained civil, with both of them waiting patiently to make each other's points, as well as speaking in a positive, but noticeably restrained way, to keep themselves from being too honest, even though they could not come to a general agreement. And with the drama being taken care of, Jordie would continue uploading videos on his YouTube channel, as well as continue growing at a fast rate. His propensity on sharing information about himself would become more apparent as well. He would often use firearms as images for backgrounds whenever he would upload commentary that didn't have gameplay or even motion, more so in his point of address videos, which became a regularity on the channel. During this time, he would not only gain the attention from viewers, but from other gaming channels as well. On January 4th, 2010, he posted a commentary video with another channel, who goes by Woody's Gamertag. This would begin as a trend for inviting and attracting other commentators onto his YouTube channel. They would talk about the game and their opinions on the strategies or tactics used in matches.
Sometimes I go using the tactical setup, I crouch when I shouldn't, but I still get decent scores and I still win a lot, and I do it not through excellence on the stick, but by being a student of the game, so that's my deal.
That's the way everybody should be, dude. Play to win. I didn't actually start using the tactical setup till about midway through World at War, when everybody was starting doing that little worm. Did you play World at War?
No, a COD 4 guy all the way.
I don't know if you know this. In World at War, they had a moving glitch called the snake.
Jordie also at the time managed to make a deal with Machinima. Remember that old channel, the one that did all those skits and gameplay videos? Sadly, not anymore, given that they were sold out. Jordie's deal with Machinima was to produce exclusive gameplay videos for their channel, and during this time, he was feeling a new phase in his life beginning. But he, unfortunately, would cut ties with a different commentary channel named Persona Gaming, and did so by publicly harassing other people on the channel.
They've got 3 or 4 people now that I just don't like. I mean, I don't want to say leeching off of us 3, but
as his viewer base was growing, he would begin showcasing other creators of large sizes that he enjoyed by hosting their videos onto his channel. Later on, he would also begin doing product reviews and was partnering with other companies. Although, like most other creators at this time period, his video and production quality was not the best, as well as limited. But his most successful Gravestone channel venture would begin 6 months after he originally started uploading. On April 27th, 2010, Jordie uploaded a first episode of a new podcast series titled Painkiller Already, or PKA, and is accompanied by COD commentators Woody's Gamertag and FPS Russia, or FPS Kyle. The format was easy to understand. 3 of the hosts would speak with one another online and record their conversations, speaking with little to no direction. These kinds of podcasts were conjuring a good amount of popularity at the time, and given the 3 relatively large names in the COD scene participating, as well as a weekly upload schedule, it continuously gained a decent audience. And because these were made available almost unedited, the cost for the production was very low, and the duration would last either from 1 hour to 3, and tending to be longer as the series continued. Jordie's subscriber count would also start growing much faster as the year would continue, to the point to where he had the courage to show his face.
it's your boy, Wings of Redemption. I'm signing out.
When he was partnered with Machinima, as well as him beginning to see a good amount of money coming to him, his ego would begin getting bigger. This would be noticeable and show in his frequent comments on his videos, expressing disapproval of the people who hated his playstyle, and would even create a video where he once again would attempt to defend his playstyle and methods to those who dislike them.
Alright, recently I put out a video called Flawless on the Invasion. And a lot of people were crying about commentary, a lot of people were crying about camping, a lot of people were crying about the weapon selection, you know. And let me address all this right now. What I did in that video was not camping in the least. I basically held down over half the map. Alright, I held down half the map and I was moving constantly. You do not have to be moving into new areas of the game, of the map, to not be camping. Seriously, even Seed Anner says that mess, you know. I mean, yeah, people will call me a fat nerd for that, but guess what? You'll just get your ass blocked. Straight up. And about people who tries to threaten me with unsubscribing. I don't give a I don't give a kid. Seriously. I will block you out of spare spite because I know people that really enjoy my site would be willing to watch my video twice to get rid of your ass. Nobody wants your ass around here. Nobody wants a hater on my channel. I don't want haters. My subscribers don't want haters. If you want to hate, you ain't a subscriber. You block. That's what you are.
Unfortunately, as his popularity and confidence would grow, his patience would decline. He would begin uploading highlight clips with increased frequency, showing gameplay that frustrated him. This tendency for responding to negative comments and trolls would start becoming a part of Jordie's online image, months after his channel's launch. And soon, this would attract attention of groups, or a group of people who would look for individuals that are specifically like him. During the same time that COD commentary was gaining a lot of following, the Federation of Asshole Gamers, or, just to be safe I'll censor this, FG, would organize and release videos, and although they had no formula or anything set for their efforts, it would usually involve a leading individual streaming themselves playing a game, and either trolling or harassing a single person themselves, as well as organizing groups to go after one or more people in the same match with the streamer. And there was an individual that was the most popular within the group. Can you guys take a guess as to who that may be?
Everybody type in the chat, Alex is a stupid...
That is correct. It is the one and only Daniel Keem, or the name a lot of you know now as DJ Keemstar. At one point in the mid-2010s, another COD commentator named That Guy Who Camps would approach Keemstar, saying that Jordie has been attacking him. And so the group, led by Keemstar, would arrange a mass false flagging plan on his channel, in which a huge number of their viewer base would flag Jordie's videos on his channel as being inappropriate, in order to get it removed from YouTube. As a response, Jordie made a video asking people to persuade members of the troll group away from his channel, but his tone on the matter sounded more fed up than frustrated, to which I cannot blame him for, but he's brought that upon himself. This request would prove ineffective, and the group was successfully able to abuse YouTube's automated systems, which would rack over 30 strikes on his channel. However, he was protected by Machinima and would remain on the site, but they demanded that Jordie would resolve the issue, and so he would arrange a meeting with Keemstar, and was moderated by another COD commentator. Jordie at first would play innocent, but it soon became clear that he had counterattacked with similar insults by making his viewer base into a weapon. But this, unfortunately, was not enough justice for Jordie. After following the stream and asking if they had privacy, Jordie would have one last threat that posed to Keemstar, one that was far beyond, while either had imposed against one another so far.
Alright, well I got your DJ Keemstar. I've run some stuff by you. Is your P.O. Box
That's
0?
correct. That's correct.
Is your street address?
That's incorrect. That's incorrect.
Alright,
I don't give my personal where I live at. I don't give that out.
Is your girlfriend named Melissa R?
Yes, she is.
Is her phone number 71663?
Okay, can I ask you why you're trying to get my personal information?
I'm just trying to see how much of this is correct, because I gave some of this information to Fisticuffs.
You gave my personal information to Fisticuffs?
Yep.
Okay, so should I find out what trailer park you live in and announce that to the world?
I don't live in a trailer park, my man.
Wait, so what was the motivation behind this action?
This is, well, basically, I did some digging, and I tried to find everything I could find out about him in case he actually did drop my YouTube channel. I'm just letting him know that. I'm just letting him know it's out there, and that way he won't be surprised.
Do you know how many people threaten me a day? It's like I know that you're a bully and that you get off on bullying people, but like I'm one person that is just gonna constantly have that middle finger in the air. It's never gonna go down. It's always gonna be F you. No one is ever gonna talk me into submission or anything. So whatever you're trying to do, just stop now, because the middle finger is right here.
I'm letting you know that
I'm
I
not
did give away some of
scared.
your
I'm
personal
not
information.
intimidated in any way.
I'm not trying to intimidate
Yes,
you.
you are. Yes, you are. Trying to say my girlfriend's name. Trying to say
No,
where I live, what
no.
my P.O. box is. I just want you to know, it's always up, dude. The bird is flying right now. Like, I'm not backing down.
Despite this threat, nothing more has seemed to have come out of it. Still, the FG channel on YouTube would go offline for good, while Jordie's would last with hardly any impact. In the year and a half that has gone by, Jordie would continually reveal more about himself, as well as his personal life. There were also videos of his brother, who had recorded them to send to Jordie's family while doing his time in the military, and another of him returning to his home for a visit. Jordie would soon become more and more comfortable showing his face as well, which has helped garnered occasional mockery about his weight. Over time, he would begin using his channel for a variety of things, besides just his gaming videos. He continued allowing other COD commentators to upload a video onto his channel, which is seen as maybe an effort to help others grow in a similar way he has. He would also occasionally create promotional videos on donating money for good causes, one being where he gave a specialized controller to a paraplegic girl, or when he would begin requesting donations for charities. As Jordie's channel grew, his podcasts have also received the same treatment, and he established himself as a central fixture within it, earning a decently high income, but the numbers are not precisely known. Jordie's financial situation had improved well, and according to FPS Kyle, he made about $10,000 a month at this time. Despite this, Jordie would still seem to treat his channel as a personal internet storage, more in an outstandingly negative way. He would upload another person's video from Twitter on his channel, under the impression that he was only wanting to share it.
Man, Wings, you got 1,000 videos of your own. Why would you need to steal? I don't need to steal. The way it is a misunderstanding, and it was blown way out of proportion like everything is with me. That's why I'm always so bitter and always angry at everything.
At this point, he had begun to date a woman named Shalene, who he had met on a dating site. Shalene was already a mother of 2 kids before meeting Jordie, and Jordie would take to a parental role. He began to provide for the 3 of them financially in every way, due to Shalene being unemployed, and seemed to have little to no desire to get a job. Instead, she chose to rely on Jordie's income as she raised her kids. It was also around this time that Jordie was beginning to receive more trolling and harassments in his comments for his videos, and he reacted to it more and more. He gained a reputation for getting aggressive to his community and subscribers, something he would try and attempt to deny.
The thing is, I get criticized and ridiculed all the damn time saying I hate my subscribers. I don't care about my subscribers. I don't care about dumbasses. Look here, if you want to sit here criticize and belittle me and say I ain't or that I'm fat, you. I don't give a about your ass. And for the most part, a lot of my subscribers are not up to par. Nobody wants to play with a guy that goes, 14 and 14. Nobody wants to play with a guy that's a liability on your team. Do you really want to play with a guy going 2 and 27 and you're dodging air support because of him? No, you don't. I might have anger issues and I might have a little social issues from being always a loner and being overweight and all. And that addresses a lot of the things why I can't be like a Woody's gamer tag and be like, everything's gonna be all right, and and give that kind of fatherly like advice. But I am what I am, and that's the only thing I can do. I don't try to stress over things I cannot change.
Even though he claimed to not care, he would continue to not only mention, but make full videos dedicated to arguing against the comments that he would receive. This reached a climax in a video uploaded on April 10th, 2011, titled, "This is Why I Am Always Hostile," in which his team members during a game of COD ridiculed him, and shouted his username over the mic. This video most likely had the unintentional effect of creating such harassment, as he now would give them attention in videos, which began a cycle of trolling, attacking, and encouragement. But even when he was losing patience with his viewers, he was trying to fix relationships with other creators. and also tried building connections with them. For one example, on July 3rd, 2011, he posted a video of himself in person with Keemstar, and what could be more surprising is that they were at the mansion of Alki David, a man that had inherited a large net worth of $1.5 billion to compete in Call of Duty for a cash prize. This event would either be called the Battle Campbell or the Billionaire Showdown. And despite the promising prospects, his confronting attitude would only get worse, until it peaked in an event that many considered to be the moment his career changed completely. On August 25th, 2011, the hosts of the Painkiller Already podcast had gathered to record their 67th episode to thousands of viewers live to the public, and they had eventually decided to change their recording methods. Rather than recording and simply uploading the podcast to hosting sites as well as YouTube, they would stream recorded sessions to Justin.tv, with 3 main sections: a pre-show, the main podcast itself, and a ending show. While the podcast would only run for about an hour and a half, this stream would last for an upwards of 3 hours, and closing the official part of the podcast with regular discussions. In this particular week, they had a guest who at the time was an up-and-coming COD commentator whose name is Syndicate. He would gain popularity by playing the famous, and in my opinion, the mode that carries the current COD games to this day, Zombies, which is a fun mode where you and your friends go up against massive hordes of zombies in fun maps with multiple Easter eggs, weapons, and let's not forget the amazing soundtracks. Anyways, for the majority of this stream, the episode would continue as normal, which involved Jordie discussing his parenting and enjoying being a father figure.
I'm really digging the whole father figure kind of. It's cool seeing like you're doing stuff with them and they're responding to it, and you know you're actually getting through to it, and you win those little battles, and those little battles feel like you win wars.
But during the end of the stream, Jordie would start mentioning his negative opinion on Syndicate's abilities and a specific game mode that he would play, as well as showing his ignorance about it.
I know.
So you're saying you couldn't do that on 4?
No, because you'd be halfway by the time the zombies.
So you really need to spend
by the
100.
time zombies
You need to spend
close
180
down.
degrees in like a
Not
microsecond.
if you want to try and get all the zombies, like say it's an insta kill and there's a zombie to your right, you know, you want to make the most of it or something. Or is it
You know,
huge?
I've had this debate with people so often. Let's just go back to multiplayer, so where my experience is at.
But wait, we're not talking about multiplayer, right? Like, I think Syndicate would...
No, there's no difference. What's the difference between a zombie behind
Zombies,
you
I always
and a
say-
guy with a gun behind you? What's the difference?
The difference is if you're facing one way, you're going to turn all the way to turn around to the zombie, and you haven't got quick revival.
I look at it like
You're gonna knife that
this.
zombie with an instant
If
kill,
you
you're gonna
get yourself in that
you're down.
position,
He's gonna
you
hit you
deserve
twice,
to
you go
die.
down. Not at all, because
No,
zombies.
no, it's...
You can say that with multiplayer if you've got like you don't need if you've got slow sensitivity.
They would start arguing, and Jordie would continue to try and profess his skill, but Woody had came to a proposition.
Like I could turn and start spraying. By the time you turned and then start to spray, or turn and then knife, you're down.
Yeah,
That's the difference between, and I know from experience.
See,
I'm
to
just gonna
me,
say this: you're talking to a guy who's probably 4 times the multiplayer than you are.
But yeah,
and
but we're talking
you
about zombies.
no matter. It doesn't matter. There's no
okay,
difference.
I'll do
I
this.
bet
You're
I
talking
bet
to
you
a guy
right.
who's
I
4
bet
times
you
the
right
zombie
now.
player you are.
I bet
Yeah.
you right now I could get on zombies and stay toe for toe with Tom and not even know the map.
Let's stream
You know
it.
why?
oh, let's do it.
Oh,
baby.
yeah. There
You
it
know
is.
why? You know
Hello?
why I can do this? Because I use my brain. I think, well, where's my back at?
Oh, yeah. Let's show it.
I can.
That's why.
I'm not about to go. I'm not about to
get
get on the play 6 hours.
What? You were not going to play 6 hours anyway.
For as long as they can anyway. Once you get a raid train locked down and you master that map, say if it's this new map, the second attempt.
I don't
to add
have
on
the
this-
new map because they didn't have a
like,
multiplayer
second
map.
time,
So
add this map. Second time I attempt it, I get around 30. Second time straight away.
If you go
I'll
to
learn that
Shangri-La...
map straight away.
Oh, do 5. You guys both have 5.
I could do 5. I could raid train for hours. It just depends how many hours you give it.
Let's see. Let's let Wings do his
That's
thing.
the thing.
dude, I'm not playing zombies. Zombies is a 5-hour endeavor.
Soon, Woody and the commentator Redneck were teasing and poking at Jordie for continuing his rant. And as they would discuss further, Jordie continues to describe his supremacy in both skill and video making.
you've ever made a 5-hour game. You know what I'm saying? If you hop on and your first game
Anyone
goes to
can
5
say,
hours, like you're
anyone
claiming.
can call out, you know, oh, I'm better. So what? You're gonna say you're gonna beat me on zombies because you play on 2 sensitivity, whereas I play on insane.
I'm saying
That's why you call me out.
insane does not mean.
Syndicate, I'd like to add this to the conversation. I am also much better at zombies than you, but I refuse to play or prove it or stream it or provide any kind of evidence about it because it would take me too long.
I didn't say I was better. I said I'd go toe for toe with him. Like I would kill.
Okay,
just as
all
many
right.
zombies
Well then,
as he
I
would.
take it back, Tom. I am just as good as you, but I refuse to play.
It's boring. I think I don't play zombies. It's just boring.
Syndicate, I love your videos. I suck at zombies, and it don't matter how many videos you put up, I will still suck at zombies.
Woody, however, had a remark that revealed quite a bit about Jordie's personality.
Heck, you know what, Wings? As I think about it, your online personality didn't match your in real life personality.
It does?
No, so my experience with, Jordie as opposed to Wings was that in real life you were much more sensitive, much more caring. In real life you were like almost gentle. Sounds like a put down. It's not what I'm going for. But you were nice to everybody, and there were. Yeah, I don't mean to. None of this is meant to be put down. But there was like an endearing level of insecurity, right? Whereas like the Wings of Redemption in a lobby is full of bravado. I'm the best player to ever exist. I can beat Syndicate and zombies, right? Like, but the Wings of Redemption that I met in real life in Beverly Hills, like not everything is easy for him. Not everything is so great, and he's caring about other people, and he was true and honest, and he was himself, but he wasn't like beat you over the head with self-confidence kind of guy at Beverly Hills.
Would you lick his face?
Well, at the one time, yeah.
And soon after, when it seemed that they were forgetting about the suggested challenge from Woody, Jordie would go back to bragging about himself. And even though Syndicate had been staying humble, he went to share his confidence in his ability at the previous titles in the Call of Duty series.
World War II, World of War, but then throw me against Black Ops.
You would get destroyed in World of War. I have never lost.
That's the most common ones I've played, and the most is COD 4 and Modern Warfare 2, and I can probably beat you in them too. In all honesty, because if I run the guns, I can run any guns I want to run. There's no kill streaks, there's no bullshit going on.
What, you wanna go M16s on Bog right now?
That could go. Yeah, I would go for it.
You use your 10 sensitivity versus my 2 sensitivity.
I'm not the person who's like, if I lose, I'm not gonna be like, I'd do it for the fun of it. I'd go for it.
Let's do it.
So what map are we playing? I'll get my ass slapped, I know I will, but I'd still do it.
See, the thing is, Bog, you said, Wings?
But as Jordie's bragging and claims reached through the roof, his anxiety levels were as well, and were even revealed.
Point to and just go, he's the best. Well,
you know the reason I don't do it? Because if I happen to lose, I hear about it for years.
Exactly. So like, if you lost against me, would you hear that for years?
Yes,
Probably not, because I wouldn't bring it up again.
No, but everybody in the stream would, and then they would tell somebody else, and then people that don't like me would get to it and start coming to the videos saying it.
Yeah, but why'd you care?
But I know I'm not going to lose to you.
But why would you care if you did lose?
Due to his gaming console being in a different room from his PC, Syndicate was able to listen to the call, as the other three would discuss, but he could not speak during the game. As Syndicate left to turn his console on, Jordie played a warm-up game, and soon, their duel would begin. Jordie and Syndicate used completely different playstyles, and as mentioned before, Jordie preferred camping, in positions that controlled the map. Once he reached those spots, he would just remain still, and attempted to exploit the strength that came from camping in the location provided. On the other hand, Syndicate preferred a more active and mobile playstyle, which involved him moving from one location to another in order to gain advantage over opponents, as well as making himself difficult to find and pin on maps. The two went to play on a map called Bog, with very few sightlines, and they would use M16s, a long-range and high-damaged weapon in Call of Duty. These choices have clearly favored Jordie's playstyle. Syndicate would accept it as well, but more so reluctantly. It perhaps could be because he was unconcerned with winning the game. and was more so interested in shutting down Jordie's ego. The game would end either after 10 minutes, or if one person has scored 30 kills. The map by which they were supposed to play was precisely marked by a single central location, known regularly as the trash pile, or the hill. The hill not only offered exceptionally well cover for those that would control it, but the height allowed the person to put on pressure across almost the entirety of the map, which means that minigames played on it are focused mostly on controlling this position of the map. By the time the match began, an outstanding 4,000 people had gathered to watch, which back then was a massive crowd. Jordie spawned on the southern part of the map, while Syndicate spawned in the northeastern corner. Moving at a fast pace, Jordie found Syndicate's position early, and within the first 12 seconds of the game, he got the first kill. However, there was already a problem. Jordie realized that they had forgotten to turn the radar on, so that neither Jordie nor Syndicate would find the position of each other without seeing them, as well as hearing them. This meant that whoever was losing had no choice but to play far more aggressive than normal in order to take back the lead before the timer would reach 0. Jordie noticed this right away, stating that all he needed to do was stay put and listen for Syndicate's footsteps. But due to his slurred speech and garbage microphone quality, many people would hear this statement as an insult to Syndicate, as well as getting cocky.
You probably should have paraded our own, because I can sit there and be a sound award now.
Syndicate was unaffected by this and responded, as well as immediately gaining control over the trash pile, using it to get his first kill on Jordie. He perhaps was looking to test Syndicate's skills and finding his weaknesses. Jordie would start experimenting with new tactics, engaging from farther away, as well as attempting to sneak behind him. But Syndicate would take him down for each of those attempts as he was closing in on him. Finally, with some luck on his side, Jordie spawned behind Syndicate and got a kill, taking him away from the hill temporarily. With the roles reversed, Jordie had a chance to catch up and got another kill on Syndicate, which then set the score at 3-4. But Syndicate had an advantage that was unforeseen. Though he had never seen Jordie's gameplay, he knew that he favored camping and passive tactics. Based off this knowledge, he decided to take a gamble and threw a couple of grenades towards the trash pile. One missed, but the other landed directly on top of Jordie, forcing him off of the position. Since he was too far to retake the hill reliably, Syndicate ran farther west and took cover, and Jordie would follow. However, and perhaps expecting as such, Syndicate turned around and took another kill with one burst, as Jordie was sprinting towards him with no chance of rebuting. Spawning on the other side of him, Jordie attempted to try and catch Syndicate by surprise, but once again, Syndicate was faster, and took him down with a single burst yet again. And now, with double over Jordie's kill count, Syndicate was in a great lead, as well as defying the expectations of everyone present. But, while the other people in the voice chat were laughing and having a good time, it was clear that Jordie's mood was becoming more toxic. He would insult the ability of his opponent, and his reputation as one of the most popular COD players. He felt an insane amount of pressure building up, not only to try and win, but to do so in a convincing way. Now that he was losing the match, his confidence would prove more fragile than his bragging loudmouth claims had suggested. Jordie once again spawned on the trash pile, taking another kill on Syndicate, who attempted to retake the position, but hilariously got taken out almost immediately after another engagement. Despite the lead that Syndicate had, he had chosen not to remain still. Instead, he would move about the map and search for Jordie. By this point, the stream had reached an insane 7,000 viewers. Jordie respawned south of the hill and made a run for it, but was found by Syndicate and pinned behind a piece of cover. As Jordie stayed in place, Syndicate would move west and once again predict Jordie correctly, flanking him and taking yet another kill. As a minute passed, the two would continue hunting one another, and with pressure growing higher than ever, Jordie started accusing Syndicate of inappropriate behavior seconds before the shot and the next engagement began from across the map.
Up girls lately.
Look here,
Watching
let
my
me.
videos.
Why don't you go and make a comment that there's not been a shot fired in almost 2 minutes because Syndicate's laying on his belly somewhere.
No, he's not.
After a long fight, Jordie took the kill, but he had to step his game up and win these fights much faster for a chance to win. Syndicate suspected that Jordie would take cover again at the hill. He threw another 2 grenades at the location, and Jordie expected this, moving to a different cover spot farther east. He also caught Syndicate unaware and took another kill for himself. Finally, they would start closing the gap and score. The pace of the match would slow down as he again would place himself into the hill and take in a defensive posture, knowing that Syndicate does not want to hide and wait the timer out. But in a straight-up engagement, Syndicate took another kill off Jordie, proving the difference in each other's skill. It would be almost another minute before the two saw each other again. Jordie's patience was running thin, and demanded that Woody tells him of Syndicate's location.
Dude, he's just hiding. Look, I'm looking at the map right now. Where's he at?
Oh, I see him. He's not hiding. He's looking for you.
I'm standing on the open. He can't see this because he's too busy laying on his belly half the time.
That's not true. Like, we can all see what he's doing. He's looking for you.
Yeah, he's not doing a good job.
With less than 2.5 minutes remaining, on top of a 4-kill lead for Syndicate, Jordie had no choice but to change his strategy. He spotted Syndicate in the south and threw a single grenade for a kill, but then followed by a drawn-out duel which ended with Syndicate achieving another kill, as well as a victorious time that Jordie sadly cannot catch up to. Jordie started chasing after Syndicate over and over in a desperate attempt to close the score, but whenever he got a kill, Syndicate would just get another one in return. After a chaotic amount of action that lasted for 1.5 minutes, Jordie started to completely lose it, as he no longer had a chance to win this match. And then he would start lashing out at people.
Like, commentator showdown goes on? I knew that was a tough lobby to do well in, but I was there. Wings, did you spawn in?
I broke my controller.
You broke your controller?
Yeah, keep laughing, you.
Oh, Wings, I think you are.
Oh, don't suck.
Yeah, we've all been there, man.
You.
Me?
Why the you stream that shit?
It was your idea.
No, I didn't say stream.
I thought it was your idea.
Even though this apparent humiliating loss was unlikely to make an impact on Jordie's reputation, his actions afterwards would solidify as one of the most memorable and embarrassing parts of his career. The day after the duel, Syndicate posted on Twitter. The look of the tweet seemed a bit confusing first glance, but the message was obviously clear, in which he quoted, "See for yourselves. I held respect the lost for Wings yesterday, but after this, no." Within this tweet, it had a screenshot of a conversation between the both of them, and apparently Alki David, the one that hosted the COD competition in that previous month, was offering a whopping total of $5,000 for a rematch between Jordie and Syndicate. Jordie had approached Syndicate in an attempt to fix his image, and offered to rig the match so he could guarantee himself a victory. It says here that by quote, "You get $3,000, I get $2,500, but I have to come out on top. Sound like a good deal, or want no part of it?" Syndicate quickly refused this grimy idea, and obviously did not want to take part in it. Jordie would get desperate, and stated that he needs this kind of money, and does not make $2,500 a day. Syndicate didn't care about the money, and was seemingly more offended by this offer, saying that he made it 10 times worse, that he wanted to come out on top. Jordie would then say, "I got a family to feed, so money is a big deal to me. You said you wanted to bury the hatchet. What better way we both make money? And I beat you by like 1 kill in game 5. It's $1,000 to lose a game you're not expected to win. I figured I'd offer it." Syndicate continued to refuse and say no way, you blew it big style, as he then proceeded to leave the chat room. Jordie then made a video addressing his embarrassing loss to Syndicate and uploaded it on August 26, 2011, with the title, "I Am Only Human." in which he elaborated on his behavior in the match itself.
One of my pet peeves is I hate losing. I hate losing with a passion. I hate losing even more when I'm the only person that has something to lose. And it's something I've been trying to get over all my life. Even when I was a child, I could not stand losing. It feels like I've failed in every form and manner, period, when I lose. I feel like I wasn't good enough to the point where it's like, maybe I should be playing.
Even though he tried to attempt bringing his issues up, his comment section afterwards would be filled to the brim with quotes from the duel he had with Syndicate, and would tease him for his loss. This did not help, as it made Jordie even more frustrated, and it would be shown in videos that involved him discussing about himself, and a lot of his personal life issues in cryptic terms. One example was a video that was published less than a month after the soul-crushing duel, titled My Weight and Life Problems.
A lot of people get the impression that I'm this asshole person to subscribers and everything else, and all they ever do is they single out the negative. That's kind of what anybody does. It's like a first human nature to kind of single out the negative and everything. Nobody sees the positives that you put out there. Nobody sees how many people that you've actually helped. I mean, I can list. You go on to any other commentator's videos, you won't see even a shrimp of the amount of hate that I get, which I knew going into it with my playstyle that I would get tons of hate. And since there's been so much stress with sub box breaking, the view count thing, losing the 1v1, all the haters, all the loss of subs, I've actually gained 20 pounds because all I've been doing is worrying and eating. That to go along with the new family that I got, it gets really problematic. I mean, it's just all stress, and then there's other problems in life, like, you know, why is this like this? I try to be a nice person. Why do I constantly get hate? You know, like people like ignore the haters. No, it's hard to ignore the haters because your natural response to anything is to single out the negative. Oh man, why couldn't that be like COD 4? You know what I'm saying? And if you ever actually wonder where that's from, that's from the Trailer Park Boys. You can check that out on Netflix.
Alongside his regular videos, he started live streaming his games and matches around November 2011. But Jordie also started to show some of his harsh views on himself.
First off, most of my fan base don't like me anyway. Most people watch me to say what I'm about to say.
Even though he was growing very well by standard, he was losing his excitement and enthusiasm for his online career, something he made very clear in his videos early 2012, such as a video named Why Hide the Truth.
You know, I do have for you today some stale ass gameplay. That's what I got for you. I got it on lockdown too. And you know why I have stale ass gameplay? Because I hate playing the game. Plain and simple. But you know why I play the game? Because it's the only thing that gets views. That's quite honest. And a lot of people want to ask you, you know, why don't you get a real job? Real jobs don't pay as well. They don't. I mean, perfectly honest. Like, if a real job was the answer, I would have gotten a real job a year ago.
Around March, another sudden occurrence or change had happened in his life.
For those of you who know, I've been dating a girl named Shalene for about a year now, and today I kind of decided for a huge life change. I actually asked her to move out of the house again. I kind of made some bad decisions in my life, and a lot of it was influenced, from her being there and trying to keep her happy. And it's got me in a really bad financial situation, and I needed time to basically get my life back together.
At this point, it seemed that his finances were also at a struggle as well, stating this in a video on March 11th, 2012, that he had sold most of his guns over the last year or so to keep afloat. This could suggest quite a few things. Maybe he was making less cash than when he first shared that his money was going down significantly, and that he spent so much of it on Shalene, to the point to where it cut a lot of his finances. Later on, he would share that from his estimations, he had spent a total of $80,000 on Shalene and her children in order to care for them, as well as buying them stuff, which included a new truck. But it eventually was left behind by Jordie. Maybe by him seeing that the popularity in his videos that focused primarily on his own personal life than the actual game, these talks would come up much more frequently and more common in his videos, to the point to where they became vlogs than actual gaming commentary. One of the biggest topics that he would mostly go into was his weight, no pun intended, as well as his needs and wants to get it reduced. This included him sharing a video of himself working out, and had recorded straight up vlogs about it. But there was a lot of pressure that continued building for Jordie, and it soon became more apparent in a way that sparked controversy for his viewers, and would soon further isolate himself from his peers, as well as his friends. In September 2012, Jordie would have an argument on social media with another commentator named El Presador. God, I love that man. This happened in a now deleted tweet that Jordie wrote, saying, "I've got loads of guns, El Presador, and if I decide to, I'm taking you with me." Soon enough, the COD commentator community was speaking on this situation, but there was one person who saw an opportunity, the one and only Keemstar. He had published tweets with an account named Drama Alert for a long time, logging and showcasing drama that happened online, and at this time, he had sought to take advantage of the situation, but he had also tried to defuse it at the same time. He acted quickly, gathering a lot of commentators to a group for a call, and it was streamed live and recorded on September 23rd. But before Jordie or El Presador had a chance to join the call, another commentator who put himself into the situation joined as well, and that man is White Boy 7th Street, who went on to criticize Jordie for his insane behavior.
Right. He did it for attention. That's what a 13-year-old emo chick does. You don't do Wings. It really got me mad. I lost all respect for Wings. So like I'm saying, Wings got away with a lot of stuff during his run on YouTube, and that's because I care about Wings. I like Wings, and I'm sure all the viewers do as well. I can relate to him. I have a personal relationship with him. I can feel him. I can understand him. Mm-hmm. And that's why I got away with so much stuff. But faking it, crying wolf, I lost it.
He expressed his thoughts and beliefs that Jordie posted and said these comments on Twitter to increase his view count some more, or in his words, for attention. And soon after, DeRanker, who is another content creator, had a choice to give his point of view on it.
I respect what Wings does, don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on him. I'm just saying all he ever does is complain.
As soon as Jordie joined the group call, he asked if he is able to speak to the other three who became involved, DeRanker, White Boy 7th Street, and El Presador. And as soon as DeRanker rejoined, Jordie would start insulting him about his employment, as well as bragging about his better income.
Go ahead, Wings.
I told you what it is. You're a production supervisor. You walk around with your hands in your pockets. You probably turned a wrench in 8 years, and you want to sit there and talk about gall of working hard. So you have a cake job. Your job is cake. What you do is you hold your hands in your pocket. You wait till the safety meeting in the morning so you can suck up to some big wigs. Then you go home and you drink your Miller Lite. Well, it sounds like you're doing.
No, actually, I'm on my phone. I'm actually at work because I have a job. Anyway.
Actually at work because you have a job. You know what? I did your job for 5 years. And you know what? I make more money now than I did at that job in 1 day of the week than I did.
Wings, and that's what I'm saying. You make a lot of money, but all you do is
But the fact is, the more money you make, the more responsibility you take on. You're also failing to neglect. You're talking about people taking $120 out of their check to feed their family. Look here, son. I have 9 people I support. 9. Not 1, not 2, not 3 children. 9.
In a absurd, or I guess self-contradictory way, he started explaining about his dislike for manual labor.
No. You're making it seem like I've never worked a real job before. The reason that I have worked a real job is the reason I don't want to work a real job again. And why am I even calling it a real job? YouTube is a real job. It's a complicated job. It's not a job where you think I sit down and play Call of Duty all day.
During this, Woody offered some understanding into Jordie's mental state, and also claimed that he was lying.
Wings, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
All right. So when I was watching the Twitter feed unfold, like this is how it played in my own head. I saw, you upset, and I know you, right? You're a guy who thinks a little bit short term. When cash comes in the bank, you feel wealthy. When the bills roll in, you feel broke. When the views are high, you feel, if you have a good day view-wise, you feel like things are awesome. If you have a single bad day view-wise, you worry that the world is crashing. So I watched you on YouTube and I thought, you know what? He's not joking or putting on a suicide hoax. He's just a guy who has extreme feelings and expresses, like, there's no sort of long-term, moderation filter on there. If I get 700,000 views today and 30,000 views tomorrow, I feel like I got 730,000 views over 2 days. You feel like, oh my gosh, my channel crashed today. The world is ending. And so when I watched your Twitter thing and saw White Boy respond to it, I felt like White Boy was off target because he's like, oh my gosh, this guy faked a hoax. I saw it. I felt like you claimed it was a hoax as a way to change the topic and end the beef.
Wings, it's been kind of been you versus the world tonight.
No, it's always me versus the world, dude. It's been like that for the last 3 years of my career. I'm pretty much, Scarface of the YouTube community. I'm the bad guy. I'm the camper. I'm everything that personifies everything bad.
Say that way. You were the Scarface of the YouTube community.
After some more arguing, Jordie started to threaten and insult White Boy 7th Street, while Woody tried to defuse it, but sadly, it did not work.
Boy, you make so much more money than me, it's ridiculous. No. You calling me a view whore. You give away Xboxes and PlayStation cards, and you calling me the cancer on the community.
Get my bank account out your mouth, please.
I don't need to get your bank account out your mouth. You're real close to me just telling you what you make, what you actually make.
And you're
that's not anybody's business what people make though, Wings.
I know what he makes. His contract ain't much different from mine.
But Wings, he's not talking about money though.
He is. He's calling me a view whore when he said himself I'd get like 1,000 views. But you're a dumbass, dude. I don't do that for views. If I did that for views, I would do it on my YouTube channel. Why don't you take your one-eyed ass and learn something? Quit smoking pot. Quit being a high school dropout.
So I think instead of going after the messenger, we should talk about the messenger.
I'm a person, Wings.
I'm a person too, and you're sitting there trying to destroy my livelihood by some bullshit trying to say I did some view whoring.
Suicide. Do you not understand the gravity of the situation? You faked the suicide for views. Your fucking raw instinct.
After Jordie returned to his squeaky chair, the livestream took on a very different tone, which involved a discussion on Jordie and his negative mentality.
It's not a fucking fake suicide. That's what you don't fucking understand. I'm a suicidal fucking person. I don't like my fucking life.
Wings, why do you... Okay, listen, Wings. Sometimes we, as human beings, we just have to look down when things are tough and look at what we have. I know I'm sounding like a Hallmark card.
What do I have, Keemstar? I have a night full of drama. I have Alfrestor trying to get big off me by threatening to put the FBI on me. I have one of the biggest channels in the gaming on YouTube trying to shut me down while I'm having one of the worst months of my fucking life. What do I have?
Wings, think about what you just said. You said that you have El Presador trying to get big off of you. Now, do you really believe that? Do you really believe that?
El Presador's a fucking leech.
No, but what I'm saying is, if El Presador is really just trying to get big off you, that is an awesome thing. That's a compliment, isn't it?
Not an awesome thing. It hits you all at once, dude. Have you ever... Well, you probably have.
You gotta look at it glass half full, glass half empty. You have so much, and people in this community, look up to you. All right? They do. They do. People in the community actually look up to Wings. Wings has been around for forever. And as much as people battle with you, people do respect you. And admire you. Look at how many people tune into PKA. No offense to Woody, but if you were out of it, it'd be probably like half the people there. What do you think is the biggest thing, Wings, that's missing out of your life right now? What is the root thing that's making you this depressed, I guess? I mean, is there something really missing? Because people look at you from the outside and say, that guy's got a lot,
I don't know. I honestly can't answer that question.
Are you missing the girlfriend? I mean, I know money became a situation, but are you missing that companionship?
No, dude. I've had other girlfriends since Shalene. I mean, I can't honestly answer that. I mean, I just don't feel fulfilled. I feel like I'm going nowhere.
As an hour passed by in the live stream, the stream vibe shifted sideways again, as El Presador joined by calling Keemstar on the phone. It was difficult to understand what he was saying, but it was obvious that El Presador still had the intention on calling the FBI.
Can you hear him, guys?
Yeah, but you're too lazy, and I also know that.
During the middle of this, Jordie made a prophetic statement about El Presador.
Because El Presador is one of the main instigators of my frustration. Like, generally, when I'm feeling bad, he's the person there to try to kick you when you're down.
Why don't you get that he's just a troll, and he says he's trolling you while he's doing it, and you still bite into it? You're feeding him, Wings. You're feeding the troll.
I understand that.
Then why don't you just stop?
Because it's not built into me to stop. It's not.
But thankfully, in the end, the drama came to a closure. Even then, this moment would rotten the relationships that Jordie had with other COD commentators, as well as content creators even more, since he was already known as a hostile personality.
Wings, El Presador, this is a breakthrough moment. El Presador said, let's sweep it under the rug. What do you think, Wings?
That seems like a good idea to me. It seems like a lot of headaches avoided.
Bam.
There you go. Bad Kid Show.
Bam. And give me a pre-tackling video.
The rest of the stream was then dedicated to talking about Jordie's mental state, where he repeated his need to stop working as an internet personality.
Okay, I hear like a sound of
I mean,
depression. Can we say that?
I'm not really depressed though. I mean, as soon as I leave this room, I'm happy. As soon as I forget all of this, I'm happy. That's why I said beforehand when I was a little more upset that I know what I need to do. What I need to do is quit YouTube and move on with my life. But at the same time, this is the high point so far in my life. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be the only high point in my life. It's hard to walk away from having access to 50,000 people. It's hard to walk away from, you know, basically being able to get advice at any time of the day, any day of the week. It's hard to walk away from, you know, being somebody of importance to going back into a world where you're nobody.
Even after isolating himself from so many people and creators, his relationship status with his pals on the Painkiller Already podcast had remained continuous, but this unfortunately would not last. A year later, Jordie continued to post videos, but as he would continue, he started receiving lower views on his channel. But this did not stop him from showing a woman he started dating somewhere in August 2012 named Brandy, who he met on a dating website, similar to how he found and dated Shalene. But in comparison to Shalene, however, she would not be shown as much in his videos. He also sadly would have radical mood swings that he was susceptible to. In early 2013, Machinima had released Jordie from his contract, and he even made a video mentioning this, named Rock Bottom.
And I made a few decisions in my life that really crippled me when they dropped me. Because I had like a 3-year contract with Machinima. I signed one. And under the premise of me signing a 3-year contract, I bought things and made obligations that I normally otherwise would not have. So basically my channel's not doing very well. I've been going into the red for February, March, April, May, June, 5 months now. It kind of like kick-started a lazy bug in me. And when you start getting lazy, you start laying down, you start sleeping more, you start getting depressed, you start realizing how fat you are. And end up being fat depresses you, and that makes you want to eat. When you eat, you feel depressed. It's just the constant cycle of being a failure. That on top of just the negative comments. People are always like, why do you
point and just zero in those negative comments. And like, I just can't help it. I can't. I used to have the skin of an elephant. Back in Modern Warfare 2, maybe Black Ops 1, I could care fuck less what you said about me.
Afterwards, he joined another company named Fullscreen Arcade, but he was making much less money from the contract with them. Around this same time, and maybe an attempt to increase his viewers' attention as well as income, he started to join the trend of YouTube drama, often going after the gameplay element of Call of Duty commentary, so he could easily talk to the camera in a vlog format. Through 2013, his channel would progress in the same way it has been, which involved him sharing info about his life and speaking from the top of his head on whatever number of topics, from YouTube drama to news headlines, and even speaking about aliens existing. He even had his friend record him at a doctor's office of him getting a boil drained when he became infected with MRSA, a somewhat drug-resistant staph infection, and then posted it on his channel, including a disgusting close-up of all the buildup of bacteria and pus. Nasty shit, I say. He spoke about a graphic and personal situation that happened to him on Painkiller Already 149. And let's just say that he had a bad experience going number 2. However, in the middle of that year, this pattern of behavior would not last very long, surprisingly. While this podcast was recorded, FPS Kyle proposed a way to help Jordie lose some weight.
But one episode, I threw this at Wings because, he was bemoaning his
stationary life.
Sure. And I said, look, man, come to my house. We'll do a month-long boot camp. We'll get the fans behind it. We'll do a Kickstarter to get you like fitness gear, supplies. We'll film the entire thing. We'll make posters. We'll make coffee mugs. We'll get like a big viewership. Not only will this revive your body, it'll revive your YouTube channel. This will be amazing. Come to my house. I'll take a month out of my schedule. I will devote it to you. We'll do this thing together. It'll be fun. I sort of half-heartedly meant it. I didn't really expect him to ever say yes because of all the things that we told you so far. He doesn't get out of his bubble too much. And then the man said yes.
What came more was that these videos would be hosted onto Jordie's channel, where he could make money off of the ad revenue. And with the plan set, Kyle made preparations for Jordie to move in.
That night I was taking a shower in my shower after the show, and I was washing my hair, and I bumped my elbow on the shower wall, and I was like, God, the shower is a little narrow. And then it occurred to me, Wings of Redemption could not fit into my shower. And if he was going to live with me, we would have to put in a new shower. So construction began the next day on a $5,000 shower. we tore out the old...
Jordie came over to Kyle's home on October 13th, 2013. And in the video updating people on his arrival, he was pretty nervous, bouncing around and fidgety as he spoke. He was a self-admitting couch potato homebody, which was not surprising, and had a preference of staying in his mom's mobile home with his grandmother.
It's a really big change in life, and it's a change that kind of makes you feel better about yourself.
On October 31st, Halloween, the first video was posted with a series that was named FPS Boot Camp in all caps. The beginning showed Jordie wriggling across the floor, pulling himself with a rope. But what was instantly clear, however, was that FPS Kyle had no prior experience as a personal health trainer, and used common basic sense as a way to make routines for Jordie. At the end of the first day, Jordie filmed himself in the new bathtub that Kyle installed for him, and sadly mentioned about how he used to be stronger, as well as lighter.
I was kind of disappointed in myself how I wasn't as strong as I remember myself being. But I guess that's the way most things happen, is you always feel like you were better at a certain point. Like I find myself remembering, thinking back to when I used to be like 330 pounds, and back then I thought I was really, really heavy, and like now I'd kill to be 330. Like, oh Lord, that's 110 pounds, and that's exactly what it is at this point. It's 110 pounds, and
there's really nothing you can, really nothing that you can do about it. But it's really cool. Like I feel really good that Kyle's helping me out here. Man, he's being a really good friend doing this, and like,
Even though he struggled, this new video did well and made 50,000 views within the first 12 hours of it being posted. And then the next day, he talked more about his hardships of the routine, and he apparently had broken the bed that Kyle let him use for sleeping.
The bed I ended up breaking on the first night. They had like a futon bed here, and I felt real bad about that. So
But despite this, he remained a positive attitude and was staying above water by the high view count of the first FPS bootcamp video. In order for Jordie to be helped funded so he could stay with Kyle, however, a crowd-funded campaign was made either on November 1st or 2nd and asked for $2,500. And according to the comments, this goal managed to reach double the amount within 24 hours. And by the time the campaign came to an end, it managed to have reached over $8,000. These videos would keep being posted, and brutally enough, the large amount of support Jordie was receiving was making a lot of pressure on him to keep it going.
it's beyond belief how much support I've been getting through these videos, and like it motivates me. Like when I'm on there. In this video right here, you're seeing me make almost 3 minutes on the elliptical. The entire time I was on the elliptical, I thought about all the people sitting there rooting for me and how I can't fail. And like, failing at this point would be letting everybody down, including myself. And I don't want to fail. And like, I think this year might be the year where I can keep that promise to myself, where I don't want to be overweight on my birthday. I failed last year, but this year might be it. Being overweight might be a stage in my life.
The bootcamp videos would keep being made, with a lot of progress being shown as well. And at the time, Jordie's mood had seemed to improve more and more as he continued this journey, provided with a ton of support by his weight loss.
I'm shedding something like 2.5 to 4 pounds a day, depending on what I do that day and what I eat. And like, it's almost inhuman the way my body is burning fat right now.
But what was not shown in these videos was Jordie's interpersonal health problems, and it may have had something to do with Kyle's lack of experience as a health trainer or nutritionist.
That month was one of the worst months of my life because Wings lives within his own bubble. He doesn't socialize, and so he doesn't curtail himself to social norms. Right away, myself, my roommate Kitty, and my girlfriend were in my kitchen, and the bathroom is visible from the kitchen. And we hear this noise of water flowing into more water. And we all look up ponderously, and the bathroom door is agape, and Wings is pissing. And we can see most of him. I couldn't see the piss, nor could he. But he was pissing. And we all and we were all just in shock. And finally my roommate Kitty yelled, "Close the goddamn door! You're pissing with the door open!" She's British, if you can't tell. And we all just bust out laughing. Like, can you believe that? He's like, "What? What's the big deal? You know, just taking a piss." And I look at me.
Strong point.
When I put him on the FPS Kyle diet, which is a lot of salads and grilled chicken, basically, he didn't for a week. He didn't for so long. I called the only person who I truly know is a bit of a fitness expert, Joe Lozon, who's a UFC fighter, a man who is literally a fitness expert. He's a professional fighter, professional athlete, big name in the UFC. I'm like, he hasn't in 4 days, dude. He's like, what? He hasn't 4 days. What do we do? He's like, well, if 3 or 4 more days go by, you know, it's gonna be a problem. It's already a problem. I think, I'm just picturing the meals that he's taken in. That's still inside him somewhere. He's
stuffing down the musket barrel.
Yeah, it's like he's overloaded. This, you know, I've seen what happens when you put the wrong ammunition into a gun. It explodes. Like what? Are we gonna blow this man's asshole out? That was occurring to me as I pondered over his constipation. And so we're getting him these chia seed drinks from the grocery store, which are supposed to aid in passing, making you regular, making you poop. We're filling his diet with fiber. I believe there was like shredded wheat and chia seed drinks and all of this stuff. And finally, like 7 or 8 days in, I mean, I had to replace the toilet. Not because anything was wrong with it, but just out of principle after he left.
You knew what happened, didn't
I knew what had happened there. It was like
2 weeks within the program, Jordie would start feeling discouraged after his weight had little to no change, and he approached Kyle wanting to go back to his original home. Kyle barely was able to convince him to stay for the last 2 weeks. When Jordie came back to his mother's mobile home, he seemed excited about the amount of weight that he lost, which inspired him to video himself dropping weights that was equal to his lost weight, in a way to show what he called the destructive power that he has taken off of his body. After a short while, he went and hired a legitimate trainer who was named Drew, and used the extra money that was left from the crowdfunded campaign. He even kept a good attitude about it, and laughed alongside Drew, and even made a little fun of himself as well. But he also mentioned that he had been struggling with his diet and went back to eating huge calorie foods. It may be uncertain when these bad habits continued. This may have had something to do with his breakup with his ex-girlfriend Brandy. But while he took action to improve his physique, the health of his friendships have gone downhill greatly, and this would occur in an event that would alienate him more than his evasive lifestyle already has. On March 2014, on a podcast of Painkiller Already, Jordie, Kyle, Woody, and a fourth member named Lefty talked about and even considered going on what was labeled as a survival trip, during which involved them going out into the wilderness without food, water, or even shelter, and bringing only small items such as flint and steel, sleeping bags, and a purifier used for water. Of these 4, Woody, Kyle, and Jordie were committed on going. The preparation that they had was very little, and Jordie posted videos of himself trying to light a fire using flint and steel. They had a schedule to leave a month after they considered the idea seriously in the middle of April of 2014. But Jordie's survival kit was barely efficient, gathering just 2 knives, a walking stick, gloves, boots, and 2 fire starters. By the time he was scheduled to leave, he had added to his kit by getting bug repellent, with a 3rd fire starter, and he also bought a compass, but it was unfortunately broken. Some people have noticed in his prep day video that there was a bottle of soda in his car, and seemed as if he had been doing poorly once again in his diet. And at long last, the day had arrived for them to go on their survival trip, but suddenly, Jordie's supporters would start seeing a problem. On April 14th, he posted a video in an attempt to defend his choice, even though his confidence in his defense was poor enough for him to disable the likes and dislikes on the video. Almost all of the comments for this video were negative and hateful, ridiculing him for his scared and cowardly behavior, as well as his insane amount of excuses.
And I've seen people tell me like, oh, why don't you go now? Go now. Do it. Dude, that's not an option. And the reason I didn't tell them ahead of time is mainly because I didn't want to basically start the trend up before and have them try to talk me out of it. Because I'd already made my mind up. I wasn't going to go. I didn't want to deal with it. You think I want to be this person? You think I wanted to make a decision where, it could be meaning the end of my channel or the end of friendships? You think I want to be like on the outs with Kyle and Woody? No, I don't. But the fact is, I got to the point emotionally where I was willing to risk my channel never rebounding. I was willing to risk my friendship with Kyle and Woody because I was afraid of this trip. And that right there should speak volumes. Where I was at mentally.
There was another Painkiller Already podcast that was filmed after Woody and Kyle returned. Jordie, however, was absent, and in place of his avatar was a little tombstone. For most of it, they avoided speaking about him. The comments showed a huge dissatisfaction with this decision, but the hosts were not affected, and it seemed obvious that they had no intention of bringing Jordie back in future podcasts. While Woody tried to refrain from speaking on the situation, Jordie's behavior on Twitter would force him to talk about it in a video that he posted on May 30th, a month and a half after the survival trip, in which he was hurt by what Jordie had said about him and Kyle.
The core of it is he says, like, these guys were, that the PKA crew were never friends to him, that we never called him, we didn't share, the money with him and things like that. And that frustrates me because it's a lie. And that's kind of why he's gone, because it was this constant backstabbing, this constant taking shots at him. Every time he fell into some sort of slump or got grumpy or whatever, he would lash out at all the people that were close to him. The truth is, like, if you follow Wings on Twitter, you know that sometimes he'll just go off about all his personal problems and put that on Twitter. And I would be the guy that texted him or called him and tried to sort of work it out. I was the guy that held his Twitter account to sort of back off on that a little bit. When obviously Jesus he said that he was going to my daughter, my wife, after he kicked my ass, and he called Colin 100 times. And Wings donated money to that guy because he thought it would make him look good. Wings gave search engine optimization tips when people were attacking Colin. The list is long, man. Oh, remember Wings went on Keemstar's podcast and said that we never gave him any of the money from the show. Why would he say that? I have taken so much undeserved for stuff like that. And now if you follow him, he says he just lost a third of his income. Right. To say that we were never his friends is not fair. We would do so much for him. We tried to help him so often. I want the best for Wings. I really do. But I can't have him in my life anymore because he's been so terrible to me and my family. And has done nothing to ever make up for it. I mean, people make mistakes, but this is a guy who talks without thinking and has a policy of never apologizing. And when you combine that, you get a guy that just takes and takes and never gives. And either you get some help so that you can deal with this and compartmentalize the hate and push it to the side, or you reorganize your life so that you don't get this kind of hate anymore. Because what you have now, it's not working for you, man. You're spiraling down, and you need to be on your way up. That's where it is. But for my participation, I mean, I feel like I'm the lifeguard and you've been trying to pull me under for 5 years, and after a while, the debt's paid.
As Jordie continued uploading videos, his viewers would steadily go further down. Attempting to keep his head over the water on his channel, he tried using clickbait titles for his videos, and would go on to comment on news and drama, as well as mentioning the horror that is Chris Chan, when he, and yes, I will refer to Chris as he, even though I'd rather call him an it, pepper sprayed a GameStop employee. He would also upload videos of his gameplays of titles that were not competitive multiplayers. However, these videos would underperform and make his views drop lower, with some not even reaching 10,000. He struggled on maintaining his workout routine as well as his diet, and would restart both of them multiple times. Drew, who was his personal trainer, would occasionally appear in some videos to discuss Jordie's progress, his goals, and what workouts he was doing, but Jordie's attitude would become negative.
This week Brandy, I don't know if you guys remember Brandy, but Brandy was my last girlfriend. She basically went to a relationship with another guy, and it's like, man, that shit sucks, dude. As you can see my luck firsthand, like if I didn't have bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. Jordan family motto.
At this point, Keemstar turned drama alert from the occasional Twitter post to a whole entire show. And on October 2nd, 2014, a post that Jordie made was shown.
I've played with the idea of waiting my money out and myself in the head. I even bought a hollow point bullets to do it with.
As Jordie continued struggling, he occasionally posted on his social media about thoughts of suicide, such as a Facebook post on October 13th, 2014, that read as, quote, "I don't joke around about stuff like that. I don't want to kill myself, and you don't kill yourself for attention. You do it to escape pain. Life was, and still is, a huge disappointment full of pain. Next to this post, it showed a package of bullets for a gun, but thankfully he did not harm himself with said ammunition. In an attempt, and hoping to remake his career, he would start a new podcast in February 2015, named The Podcast Show. And as a surprise, it featured White Boy 7th Street, the one that joined Keemstar's stream a long while ago. However, as the months went by, the show would gradually lose viewers as well, going from 40,000 to 13,000 views by August. This would impact his channel as a trend, and that same month also was seen getting less than 3,000 views on his Let's Play videos. This was all in spite of his subscriber count that was around 450,000, when it was originally around 500,000. Even some of his videos that showed competitive shooters had a hard time even getting past 15,000 views, and the others would never reach that high. At this point, it's clear that Jordie will no longer be rejoining the Painkiller Already hosts on a regular, but he still would be invited on occasion for uneventful talks. As he lost a lot of motivation, he uploaded and streamed much less in 2016. He attempted to explain himself in a video on August 26, 2016, named I'm Going to the Doctor.
What are you up to lately? You don't really do YouTube that often. You know, you stream rarely. The last couple of years I've developed this thing called anxiety.
When 2017 arrived, his uploads continued going downhill, along with his views, and this would also combine with the increase in his weight again, in which he was 380 at one point, but would end up gaining 90 more pounds, becoming 470. That's like almost gaining the size of a 9-year-old attached to you in that time period. God damn. He would also proceed to complain about back problems that he was having, and had started discussing surgery to fix his obesity, as a way to get rid of his weight for several years. But as his weight would continue to get bigger, this surgery would be seen as more and more necessary for him, and eventually he would start seeing it as the only way to fix his life, and believed that he could not have jobs to work with besides making video game content at his current size. On top of it, another part of his financial situation was gradually becoming known. For this time period, Jordie had been paying his mother's mortgage on the house, and she has promised Jordie that once he has finished paying for it, she would eventually give it to him. He had even claimed that he made the last payment on her mortgage in a video on October 23rd, 2014. However, once the mortgage was paid off, she would go back on her word, and instead of giving the home to Jordie, she took a second mortgage out, and promised Jordie that this time, once he paid the new mortgage off, he would get the house. And at this point, he would continue paying for it, but his credit rating would be extremely low, because instead of directly paying for them, he was transferring money into his mother's bank account monthly. He recognized and seen that his YouTube channel was likely not worth continuing or taking it seriously like before, and so he decided to make the switch to Twitch, and chose to primarily do live streams instead of videos. According to himself, in 2016, he averaged about 250 to 400 viewers per live stream, but he quickly would get a reputation for being hostile and aggressive, mostly to those he was playing with, as well as towards his own viewers, and would relentlessly ban people for minor things, as well as saying things that he did not agree with. An individual from Reddit in 2017 had stated that when they left YouTube, Jordie said that he was going to lose weight, but he is fatter than ever, and not only that, he is meaner than ever. He talks to his viewers like... One guy genuinely offered to teach him how to properly play Rainbow Six, which Wings was struggling at, and Wings told him, if you keep backseat gaming, I'm gonna block you. Then, he told a 36-month subscriber that he hopes their parents car wreck because the kid beat them in a 1v1. Keep in mind, this is a 30-year-old man. On top of this, he seems very depressed now. He spends every stream just constantly about how he doesn't get enough viewers to support his fat, lazy, degenerate lifestyle. It makes me feel unwanted as a fan. He also complains and gets very angry literally every time he dies. I've never heard Wings admit that he got outplayed. It's always outside forces that cause him to die in-game, whether it be lag, OP weapons, bad teammates, etc. It's literally never his fault. I even saw him throw a controller at his TV out of anger. Also, his shirt was dirty. It looked like he hadn't showered for 3 days, and he was greasy. I really hope that he can find it within himself to get his life together. He also said that he had a gun in his hand and was considering killing himself because he wasn't getting the Twitch viewers he feels he deserves. And if he can't make a living off video games, then he doesn't want to live. He legit said that. This is a very sad and accurate depiction of Jordie's situation, I say, but it's so unfortunate to see that most of what this Redditor has stated is in fact true. However, due to a gear turn in YouTube's algorithm, he would start attracting attention again, but this viewership would be of an entirely different kind.
Joke's on them. If they join one more time, I'm going back online and I'm stacking a team up.
On November 16th, 2017, there was a YouTube channel with the name Sean Ranklin. He posted a video that was titled Wings of Redemption Gets Stream Sniped and Loses It. At this rate, people knew they could push Jordie's buttons by joining his games and trolling him, with the amusement of many who were watching. During one stream he was having a hard time controlling his temper and would react a lot harsher than usual. Sean Ranklin then made a compilation that showed this behavior.
But like, if somebody could give me like their information, like their name, their address, the number, how I can get in contact with these guys, I would really like to know, because like I'm seriously considering suing them, because at this point they're going to follow me around when I stream and they're affecting my business at this point. Honestly, they're affecting my ability to make money. Appear offline doesn't work. I'm offline. No, they're joining through recent players. Look here! Look, listen! Appearing offline does not stop it. So stop giving advice you know nothing about. I'm banning anybody trying to give me advice. Real talk. My mod should be doing this. I gotta play. Can you please stop, dude? Honestly, can you stop, Kudzo? Like, why are you doing this to me? Real talk, why? Alright guys, I give up. I don't know when I'll stream again. I really need to make this money. I really wanted to get this surgery, man. I've wanted it so bad. I just can't do it. I can't take this no more, man. All I wanted to do was, like, I was lonely. I wanted to just stream and have a good time, maybe have a good game. I hate my life. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
This video became mad viral, and as of the day this video was posted, it accumulated over 2.6 million views. This compilation became a success, as Sean would continue making highlight videos on Jordie streams and upload it on his channel, which was more focused on his behavior or moments when he gets upset. Sean Ranklin was successful enough to where it encouraged other internet dwellers to make compilation stream clip highlight channels on Wings. And as months, years, and so on would go by, they grew like an unstoppable wave, going through his streams and pinpointing moments that they found to be extreme, funny, or downright sad. Lots of references in these videos would start flooding his stream chat, especially the most memorable phrases from Sean Ranklin's videos. He would consistently order his mods to ban anyone who said certain words or terms in his stream, but these bans would easily be evaded with new accounts being created. A lot of pressure was coming in, and from viewers that seek to troll and harass him, Jordie would continue leaning a lot more heavily that some way of surgery for his obesity would fix his life for good. On December 2nd, 2017, he created a video and posted it on his channel, making solicit opinions on his viewers. He stated that he was considering a bunch of different surgeries. More importantly, he couldn't decide where he wanted it. If he picked America, it would cost around $25,000, but if you went to Mexico at a bariatric center, the total would be near $6,000. And since his income had gone down much lower over the years, he was seeming to prefer the latter. But even then, it seemed that the failure rate of the doctor in Mexico is higher than that of the American doctor. Soon, he would start begging for donations for the surgery during his live streams, and the event, he decided to get it in America. As he struggled on which doctor to visit, the most dedicated amount of trolls and highlight clip channels would gather around in servers on Discord. Names like Whale Watchers and Sean Ranklin fans, and eventually, at least one server had 1,000 members. What was more astonishing was that when Jordie was seeing these servers, he asked to join them so he could have a talk with their members. Many people would easily take up the offer and invite him. It seemed that this meeting took place around early 2018 and was recorded by Wingstings in a video edited to highlight what they found to be the most intriguing parts.
Wingstings!
You guys have kept me up crying so many nights. People said, videos being made, and the fact is, like, you're going to hurt my chances to get a job later on in life.
Wings, I'll be brutally honest with you, right? The only reason that these channels exist is because you react.
Because I react, but I can't stop reacting. I'm never going to stop reacting. It's part of my personality. The fact is, like, how am I supposed to move on if you guys keep creating things?
Ignore it.
You can't ignore it. You can't ignore it, dude.
You can ignore it. You can.
We're just fans, man.
Just take the videos down. Just delete the channels.
Can't take this no more, man.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You realize that? You're making fun of an honest reaction, dude. Like in real life, I really do. I would fucking teeth in. I would teeth in, dude. I really would.
Threaten, man. Come on.
You don't doubt that. What are you gonna do to me? What are you gonna do to me? What are you gonna do? Put your in the kneecap. That's what I do.
Oh,
I'd hit you, and then I'd pistol grip until your teeth fell out your head. I hate you.
In the end of this talk, little came of this engagement for Jordie, besides more criticism. But aside getting new enemies, he would suddenly encounter an older one. During a live stream in early 2018, he stated that he doesn't like Keemstar, and that he wanted nothing to do with him. If he had his way and he could will it, he wished that he would get in a car wreck. And he proceeded to say, "I literally do. He's the only person I can think of right now that I wish would literally."
I'm dead serious. Like, if somebody deserved it on this planet, Daniel King would be one of them. That's dead serious. Like, if you wanted to do Sharia law, Daniel King should be one of the first people to have his hands. He's a despicable person, and that is word to your mother truth right there.
Afterwards, Keemstar would post a video stating his opinions and dissatisfaction upon hearing of this.
I laughed my ass off. And Blade laughed his ass off, and Overflow laughed his ass off. And the more I thought about it, the laughter just turned into anger. I'm mad. Now, should I be mad? No. Wings is known for saying dumb, stupid and is never held accountable for his words. So yeah, I shouldn't be mad, but I am. And the reason why I'm mad is because Wings said that I'm evil. I'm the most evil person that he's ever met. but then went on to say that I should. He went on to say that I should. You have 1 hour to agree with a debate with me, or I'm taking this to Twitch staff, and they're going to decide whether or not it was a death threat or not. I'm not playing any games.
These two would go at it one more time in a live stream, which involved them attacking and insulting each other, mentioning one by one how each of them had someone double-crossed one another and did wrong, or had committed illegal actions over the years. But at this time, when Jordie once had a position of power, he was now looked at in a much lesser way if we are talking influence-wise.
All that clip simply states is, I don't like who you are as a person. And in my personal experience, you're one of the worst people I've ever met. Like, on a moral standpoint.
So many times. I tried to help you so many times. I got you involved with the Billionaires Challenge thing.
How about
right?
after the Billionaires Challenge, where you and Blade decided to sit there and make fun of me and call me a saying that you hope Wings continues to make videos forever so you can laugh at me? What about that?
But that's the strongest thing you have going for you. I mean, Wings things.
What about the lie you just said just a while ago where you said you're wing teams? What about you're not wing teams?
And I'll tell you what, Wing Tings is entertaining. And you know why it's entertaining? Because it's all your ups. Like you crying and you being upset. That is the most entertaining thing about you. I'm sorry, Wings, but it is. It always has been.
And I'm trying to use that to better myself. I got this surgery. I'm gonna get the surgery done. I'm gonna shed one of my biggest catalysts in my entire life. Hopefully I can find the strength.
As these streams continued with Jordie, he began to speak about his personal anxiety, as well as his struggles. Around this time, Jordie had seemed to make his mind up about getting the surgery, once again believing that it's the only way he can lose weight. As he was still considering America or Mexico for the surgery, he found out the American doctor had refused to perform the operation, unless he can shed enough weight to be at 400 pounds. Jordie would sometimes share his weight, and viewers would be constantly doubting his honesty, since he has a history of lying so goddamn much. One example was in 2013 when he claimed to have taken a bullet to the leg on a podcast and shouting at a man breaking into his mom's car, but later he admitted that this story was very much false. And in this case, he stated he was 460 pounds. He revealed as well that he was prescribed medication called Lexapro, which is basically an antidepressant that is used for controlling anxiety. But after he stated his intention, his life would go through a sudden and chaotic interruption. On March 6th, only a couple days after the video about his surgery, he posted a video named So I Got Swatted, which showed his stream with an empty chair as well as sounds of a SWAT team in the background. During this, a SWAT team member walks in front of the camera for a moment. They asked who might have called in the team, and Jordie can be heard giving an explanation about a compilation channel name. This had come shortly after the case of Andrew Finch, who unfortunately lost their life in a swatting incident. And in light of this, Wingsteins had deleted their channel, and stated their discomfort with the trolling community. Unsurprisingly, Jordie was unable to lose the weight in the time he had set for himself, and so he tried to commit getting the surgery in Mexico, though in a procrastinating way he went about it made viewers once again not believe his claims. During this time, new channels were still spawning that copied Sean Ranklin's way of highlighting moments in streams. What's interesting about these highlights is that they would not only show his frustration and rage, but also funny moments, surprisingly making a wide view of Jordie. Pun not intended. But the comments would reveal the most widespread reason for people to watch these videos, as well as the donation messages, which in itself I find to be pretty hilarious. People would consistently tease him with his old references, like Real Talk, Look Here, Look, Listen, and Big Ups, as well as quoting the lines used in the first Sean Ranklin video. Lots of names would be made for him. An example is when discovering documentation that someone once lived at Jordie's, addressed by the name of Richard. People would start believing and suspecting that this was his real name. Funny enough, even though this rumor was proven to not be true, calling him Richard would piss him off, and so people would start calling him creative and different twists to the name. One example is Big Up's Liquid Richard. He also would be teased for his love of Wendy's chili and frozen TV dinners, which he would be seen eating on stream. At this point, he became open about the reason he continues to stream.
The only way I play this game is in hopes to get donations and subscriptions. Like that's the only reason I'm playing it.
And in a sort of surprising twist, members of the Painkiller Already podcast started to speak about Jordie as well, and speculated about whether or not he would get the surgery, for which he procrastinated for years. Noticeably, on April 21st, 2018, the Painkiller Already podcast had a host who is also a content producer named Mr. Medicare, and in a good portion of the episode, it was dedicated to both Woody and Kyle talking about Jordie and his large amount of controversial actions, and was told in a comedic fashion. Sean Ranklin a month ago used a quote from Kyle and released a video on March 22nd, 2018, which he describes a scene from one of Jordie's streams that he's seen highlighted from one of the compilation channels.
I was watching a stream clip the other day, and it was probably the darkest thing I'd ever seen in Wings' stream before. And he went and produced a photograph, a framed picture, and he was like, "This is me when I weighed, I want to say 240 pounds, and something happens. Something deep happened." He was just like a loss of hope. Like there was a moment where he was like, "That's where I was, and this is where I am." It was a dark moment.
Jordie had continued engaging with the troll discords as well, but with an interesting take. He would stream himself, going into some of these servers and interacting with them on Twitch, such as one scenario where Sean Ranklin uploaded onto their channel, and immediately as he joined, people were teasing him with the quotes he used. It's not certain how many people were in this call, but it quickly became one where people started talking over one another. Even though he claimed he would leave, he still would remain in the call for a while. The subreddit for Painkiller Already would also be used as a place for people that were interested in Jordie to group up in which occasionally they would criticize him and point out his inconsistencies in the claims he would make. For an example, on May 28th, an individual with some interest in Jordie made a long Reddit post, which shows in detail why they believed he lied about scheduling his surgery in Mexico. This person has also tested Jordie's honesty by applying for the surgery at the same location. Jordie claimed that it took some time to be scheduled, but this person also claimed that in his experience, the clinic had offered to schedule the surgery as soon as the $500 deposit was paid for. And so, Jordie had mentioned this critical observation during his live stream.
I had to mention, I'm scared to death of the surgery. I'm scared of it. Who do I get to talk to about it? Nobody. Because if I talk about anything, on everything, there's a video made about it, and there's 20,000 people laughing at me, or there's a podcast with 100,000 viewers making fun of me, calling me a fucking idiot. What is there? It's like, seriously, what is there? What do I do this for a privilege for? Like, seriously, about a privilege to sleep all goddamn day, play the same games over and over and over again, to feel like, to realize nobody's ever gonna love me? Like, what is the privilege that I get? No, I don't got any friends, dude. I spend my entire life sitting in this room.
During this, he had also started taking his anxiety medication. Despite his reservations, he said he would take care of.
Like, I'm not off Lexapro. This is coming through Lexapro. Because I'm always stressed out. Like y'all give me so much anxiety. Anxiety meds aren't even working for me right now. I'm a fat dude. I'm going to cheat. It's going to happen. One of the reasons I'm getting this surgery is I'm trying to buy willpower. I'm trying to f myself up so badly that if I cheat, I'm gonna vomit. And I'm gonna throw up. And my body will reject food to the point that I force myself to learn a new way.
After this stream, he would go to the Reddit thread, and he admitted that the maker of this thread was correct. Jordie did not pay the deposit yet due to being scared over the procedure. On June 16th, members of the Painkiller Already podcasts were also speaking on the chances of Jordie scheduling the surgery, as well as actually receiving it. And then, on June 28th, 2018, Jordie had posted pictures of himself in a hospital gown to his Twitter, and he soon would go back to his mother's home. He had applied for a surgery called a vertical sleeve gastrectomy, which involves 90% of the stomach being removed. Immediately, he would question his decision. However, he continued streaming, and due to his new antidepressants, he stopped reacting with such anger like before, but he would still read troll donations out loud before realizing what they were, or out of exasperation. It could be a possibility that he saw how much of his income was coming from these troll donators, and even encouraged them to a certain degree. But, while few things occurred post-surgery for Jordie, his community would start experiencing disruptions and changes, some of which were even revealed in public. In early 2019, an individual named Joshua Moon, who was mostly named as Null, and is the owner as well as operator of Kiwi Farms. He had done a stream in which he described the history and past of Jordie. But the most surprising part of it wasn't the section that involved Jordie, but instead the massive troll community that was surrounding him.
And my rabbit hole into this world started with asking a question. Who is Lean? And the answer I got to that question was... Ha 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 ha, lol, you mad bro, ha 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 ha, mad bro, mad, piss, pisses on shit, piss, ha ha ha, piss, sis, lamau, ha ha ha, ha ha ha, lol, piss. And that, my friends, is the moment I decided, holy shit, these people are crazy. These people are nuts. This is not just some random from their Discord. This is a trusted user. There's like 12 of these people. It's a Discord with like 1,000 motherfuckers. And this motherfucker is at the tippy top. He's up there in the upper echelons of the trolldom. This when I was in there asking people about Lean, a couple days after I spoke to Lean, people are like, well, you know, he started to monetize his videos. I'm like, oh, is that it? And they're like, no, he makes them look positive in his videos. Well, goddamn, that sounds awful. Let's look at this. Let's look at one of these DS positive videos that Lean put out on Wings of Redemption.
It's just it's stupid. Like, all their effort, they still couldn't stop me from going 40-10. After all their effort, they still couldn't do it.
And this is what pisses them off. In his videos, if Wings of Redemption gets trolled the up, it still ends up 40-10 with a 4-1 KD, a very, very good score. He'll include it in his highlight clips. And that is verboten. It is not allowed. If he does well in the video game, you cut that out. You leave that on the clipping floor.
Soon enough, he revealed that Lean claimed to a troll server that he hired people to gather personal information of everyone that's in it, and after trying to speak to the people in the troll server, he would get banned. The owners removed the entire chat logs of the channel, as well as the channel itself, to prevent Joshua from screenshotting and gathering information. However, this was not the only piece of hidden conflict that occurred. Months later, on July 3rd, the Wings of Redemption subreddit's Discord server was by quote, given a holy cleansing. A moderator of the subreddit wrote that the server had fallen down into a manhole of noxious biohazard shit. And it all started with road banning users for having differing political opinions in favor of keeping user Soda Sweet as a mod, who was a guy with children that was sending and receiving nudes from another user by the name of 3PM, who was another bloke that enjoyed cross-dressing and posing as a female. He had gone on to describe the arguments and fights that members have had there, and specifically attacked the head admin on the server. As the troll community had fought amongst themselves, Jordie continued his Twitch streaming and maintained a view count between 300 to 700 viewers consistently, as well as regular donations. But during this, very little had changed. He has visibly lost weight from the result of his surgery, but he is still over 300 pounds, which is much heavier than he should have been a year after his surgery. He continued that he wanted to stop making gaming content online, but he is unable to do so and cannot leave the reliable income. And so, he would continue banning people and troll accounts on his stream chat as well as troll donations, but then would be replaced by sock puppet accounts to continue the harassment. People have speculated that Jordie can only stop streaming when people stop giving him money, but the amount that he gets only seems to be growing with time, as people consistently pay to send him messages. As the years proceeded in 2020 to 2021, Jordie's troll community still persists very strongly to this day, with no visible end in sight. Many have claimed that the surgery did nothing to help him, and they showed pictures of before and after photos that he regained seemingly all of the weight back, if not more. Jordie would also get married to a woman named Kelly Lambert, but many people quickly began to accuse him of being neglectful to his wife and supposedly abusive, even showing during a live stream where he made her cry for not wanting to come with her to a funeral, if I am correct.
What's happening?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I'm streaming right now.
You gonna get off at 12 still?
No,
Why?
it's not. What? What are you looking at me for?
What's going on?
Nothing.
I want to talk to you.
We'll talk when I'm done streaming.
When will that be?
I don't know.
So you want to just kind of wait around?
I texted you and said that I wasn't going to the thing that you
Yeah,
did.
but you text me 15 minutes before I should be here and ready.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry.
Maybe I'm a little late.
Might have been. I don't know.
Can you not take like a 5-minute break?
No, because it's going to be more than a 5-minute conversation.
Okay. I think we need to go.
No, I'm good.
Okay, well then you at least need to get off and talk to me.
Can you please stop?
Will you please stop?
Please stop.
I'm good with you shutting me out.
People would consistently troll and clip this event that has occurred as well, giving more insight as to what's happening in Jordie's livelihood. And with Kelly being a newly married wife for Jordie, I am afraid that she has a lot of baggage right in front of her, because we all know trolls are going to be coming for her as well. Podcasts and mentions of this event would also be mentioned in other live streams as well, being shown as yet another misadventure into Wings' life. He still would remain stuck in his chair, playing video games for a living, and not having any care in the world for life. He proceeded to beg for subscribers, beg for money and donations, making excuses for losses in video games, as well as raging. He also seemed to have given up his daily routine of working out like before, and he lost almost all of his friends he once knew. It wouldn't surprise me if he ended up divorcing Kelly as well, or Kelly divorcing him. Jordie at one point had privated all of his YouTube videos on July 8th, 2020, and according to himself, he did this because of trolls using the footage for more troll content and troll videos, and he previously explained that doing YouTube would be fruitless at this point. Later on, he would unprivate his playthrough of Fallout 4, and his YouTube channel would remain stagnant for the time being. Instead, he would stream a lot on Twitch, but for that, he would be constantly trolled as per usual. Some uploads and clips would even be brought up and show Jordie harming his pet animal, with the dog shrieking in pain as he would pull out his chair. He also would go in voice calls and discuss morbid things about how he harmed animals.
When I was 5, I was playing peekaboo with a kitten, and I got called into dinner and I forgot about the kitten and I left it under something.
What does that mean?
That's that's the cat killer thing, right?
So you left it underneath something?
Yeah, and it ended up a cat, and I didn't realize it until like years later.
Oh my god, that's crazy. Jesus Christ.
Well, how's that any different than running over possum?
What? Bro, it's a household. It's a domestic animal, bro. What do you mean?
No, there are domestic cats, but like this was not a domesticated cat.
He also discussed how he would use a rifle on a dog to save money rather than taking them to a vet to take care of the dog's life that way. But this could be seen as subjective.
Ever put a dog to sleep?
Yes.
Yeah, how did you choose the time?
Rifle.
Yeah, well, you know, we take them to the vet, and then they what they
screw
did
that
with
vet.
the dog.
You're gonna pay $70 for a $2 bullet.
That'll be okay.
And in another stream clip from how it was shown and heard, he would say the N-word and proceed in kicking their dog that is vomiting as well as having bowel problems.
My last day of nerve. I'm busy screaming at her.
Hey, she's barking. You disgusting. Hey, Jordie, there's water in there.
I'm about to throw her out the door.
She's barking at somebody. Oh my god.
She doesn't another house.
Jordie also told another tale on stream about how he was driving to Waffle House and ended up hitting a deer. For me, it seems like a lie, but you can be the judge of that.
I just had the most expensive trip to Waffle House ever. So I went to Waffle House, and on the way back I hit a deer with my truck. From the looks of it, one of my recovery hooks is bent. I got a dent in the driver's side fender and maybe a dent in the driver's side door.
There are several clips that had shown all of these discussions on how he killed animals, as well as being caught on camera harming his own pet. You could even hear the sounds from it. And in terms of the dog being injured, that's obviously pretty fucked up in its own right, especially if you continue doing it. As for the animal stories, it's so hard to believe that these are legitimate or for attention, but I am leading on the attention-seeking aspect, seeing that he's been doing this kind of crap for over a decade. Fast forward to nowadays. Has Jordie changed anything at all? Has he really gotten better? What changes occurred with him that we see different than how he was 10 years ago? Let's see how he's doing as of now, shall we?
I did say the age of consent should be 12.
I'm sorry. What?
I did say the age of consent should be 12.
I did say the age of consent should be 12. I did say the age of consent should be 12.
Oh my god. Jordie. We knew you were low, but never did I think you would steep to this level. He actually stated that. Oh, and that's not all. He would further elaborate about it onto a live stream. And he went on to explain about how he knew of these younger individuals that were allowed to commit these actions on a regular, and he sees it as okay.
You know why I said that? Because growing up in high school, I knew girls that were like 12, 13, 14. The regular.
As far as I'm correct, Jordie, my good man, kids at that age are supposed to be in school reading books, or having fun with kids their age playing video games or throwing a ball or something. Not be subjected to even half the horror that's spewed out of your fucking face. My apologies, but it can be rather infuriating when this type of behavior is shown from creators or people, especially ones that think this type of thing is okay. Well, let's see here. Is Jordie still able to at least keep a partnership? What about something as simple as DoorDash?
I never looked at DoorDash. I did DoorDash strictly to put money in my savings account. So basically they just made it so I couldn't actively be putting money away for retirement. And, you know, they killed a hobby me and my wife do, right? So it's like, they over here tell me they want me to do the house, get a job, blah, 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 and then they go and take the one job that I did outside extracurricular activity.
I guess you can't even keep that either, eh? But as far as I can see, Jordie has not changed. And as far as I know, he is progressively getting worse. And I, as well as the others that are watching him, will see all of this to the very end. In conclusion, Jordie Jordan is a person that is an example of what happens to someone that lacks the proper mental strength, will, flexibility, or even an attitude is all of a sudden given clout in an area that escalates and hits the ground hard, as well as his poor social skills that ended up isolating himself from any help from anybody. He neglects, mistreats, and hates a lot of his viewer base, and boy does he have a lot of trolls. But there is simply only one reason why that is, and I wouldn't even be making this video, as well as potentially hundreds of others, about Jordie had he ignored the trolls, keep his chin up, been honest with his audience and himself, not bragging and boasting only to be humiliated, and keeping certain thoughts to yourself that you know is going to get you 6 feet under. Personally, I pity the guy, but at the same time, it's so hard to pity someone who lives a life of lies, and goes to mention his views on the age of consent, and I am simply not okay with this. Jordie Jordan shall remain as an infamous character within the Twitch streaming community, YouTube community, and several other internet networks, for as long as he is willing to stick around, and he is seen as a very tragic story. But this tale for Jordie has not ended yet, and we shall see in the future as to what's in store for him. Why, hello everybody, thank you all for watching. You all make me so happy seeing you here supporting me. It's very cute. I have nothing but appreciation in the fact that you've all helped me reach a new milestone. That is right, 1,000 subscribers. And since you are giving me this kindness, I shall continue presenting a lot of similar content for you to enjoy. Whether you are sitting at home with coffee, or playing Call of Duty with some mates. Hashtag Richard Samuel. Hashtag Big Ups Liquid Richard. Sorry, I know I am cringe. Without further ado, I hope you guys have a happy Halloween and so on. Let me know down in the comments on what you would suggest for me to cover next, because I have plenty of ideas in mind, but I would also love to see what yours are too. Thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a good morning, a good evening, and I hope you all have yourselves a good night.
Shout out to my fellow finger sniffers.